ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin. This is my co-host Teddy. It is like a terrible day today, guys, so I apologize for that if there's any noise in the background or anything. But today I've got a very exciting video. We're going to be checking out this guy right here. It's the Roccat Kone EMP Gaming Mouse, and we'll jump right into it then with the looks. So this is definitely not subtle or minimalistic at all. This is a gaming mouse and it wants you to know that it's a gaming mouse. It's also quite large. It's coming in at 135 by 75 by 42 millimeters. Now it has these LED like lighting strips up both sides. It gives it a kind of like nice contour. I actually really like that. It makes it look really nice there. It has a braided cable as well, which I also like. Other people might not, but personally I always see it as a benefit. And it's got this kind of like ergonomical look to it, really. And yeah, I think it looks pretty good. I think this is a really nice looking mouse. However, looks don't really count for much, so let's talk about comfort, because that's much more important. So this is a right hand only gaming mouse. So lefties, I'm sorry, you're not going to be able to use it unless, you know, you want a really uncomfortable grip on it. And you're going to be hitting like the forward and back buttons all the time. So it's also quite heavy as well as being quite large. It's coming in at 116 grams, which is getting up there for a gaming mouse, especially a wired one. I mean, like a wireless, you could kind of expect it, but a wired one, wow, it's getting up there quite a bit. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Quite a few people actually like a heavier gaming mouse, and I personally didn't notice it that much in terms of comfort. Like, it didn't make it uncomfortable or anything like that, but I did still notice the weight there. But yeah, overall it feels pretty good in your hand. You can only really grip it with a palm grip. If you try a claw grip, it just won't really work that well. So you have to be a palm gripper to really enjoy. If you have larger hands, it'll also feel quite a bit better. But once you get your hands in those grooves, it feels really, really nice. And I have very bad wrists, so I notice things like uncomfortable gaming mice. They really do affect me much more than the average person. But this guy was just fine. I spent hours playing games with it, and I had no issues at all. So let's spin it around then and talk about the sensor that it's coming with. So you get the Roccat Ally 12,000 dpi optical sensor. So 12,000 dpi, or CPI for that matter, whichever term you prefer, is just crazy. You're never going to need that much. I just set it to 2,000. That's where I like to keep it. I don't really move it around much there. 2,000, 2,500 is pretty good. I have a 4K display though, so it's somewhat warranted that I run quite high DPI. And with that, it was absolutely perfect. I've been playing quite a bit of Doom lately. I'm finally getting through it. And yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. I didn't have any issues. What I really like to look for is, does it frustrate me to use? Am I missing things I know I shouldn't because of the gaming mouse? And I didn't notice that at all. So yeah, it was very good in that aspect, and I had absolutely no issues when it comes to the sensor. So let's talk about the buttons and the scroll wheel. And this is where it runs into a little bit of issue. So as far as buttons go, you get 9 programmable buttons. That's including the left, right click on the scroll wheel and the center click, which, okay, we'll count that. So let's start out with the left and right click then. So they are a bit on the stiffer side for me. I would have liked them to be a little bit lighter. They also have quite a bit of travel, but that's not really the end of the world. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't as good as I really would have hoped it to be. But yeah, they're still decent. Let's move back now to the scroll wheel, and that was really good. Not too stiff, not too soft, and the clicking was also very good, so it gets an A+ there. Moving back a bit further, you get the DPI adjustment buttons. Most people won't really adjust the DPI on the fly. I know some do, but most don't. So you can reprogram them to do something else if you really want to. And then over on the left-hand side, you have the forward and back buttons. Those were quite well positioned, up and out of the way when using it normally, but one thing I did notice was that if you go to grab the mouse, especially from a high angle, you can oftentimes accidentally hit the back button, which is quite frustrating if you had a web page loaded up and then it goes back. So, or if you're watching a video especially. So that wasn't too good. Now that may be a bit nitpicky, and most people who get used to this mouse will probably stop doing that. I've only been using it for like a week, so yeah. But overall, it's still pretty good as far as buttons go. I would put it as far as saying it's just decent as far as the overall buttons are concerned. Now let's talk about the additional features. So of course it's coming with a 1000 Hz polling rate, We'd always like to see that. It's coming with the Roccat Swarm software, which is quite basic looking. It also doesn't particularly scale particularly well with 4K monitors. Not that the size was an issue, it just doesn't really look as appealing as maybe on a 1080p panel, but that doesn't really count for much. In terms of actual usability, it was just fine. Everything was very easy, very basic, and I had no trouble adjusting the DPI or anything like that, or setting up the lighting. It was all very straightforward, so no real issues there. The Roccat Swarm software was very, very decent. Which brings us now to the conclusion then, and what do I make of the Roccat Kone EMP Gaming Mouse? So currently in New Zealand, it's coming in at 149 New Zealand dollars over at playtech.co.nz. And that is quite expensive. That's quite a lot to pay for a gaming mouse. I looked around at other countries and it also seems to be coming in on that kind of higher end of the price point. So is it really worth it for $150? I would say here in New Zealand it's quite hard to say it's worth it when there are gaming mice from Corsair, Logitech and Ducky, which are less expensive, and I would go as far as saying they are just as good. That's why I think it is just too expensive. However, if we take price out of the equation and just look at it for what it is, it's a good looking gaming mouse that has really nice comfort, if you're a palm gripper that is, a fantastic sensor, absolutely phenomenal, and decent buttons. So with all that being said, when we take price out of it, it's a pretty good gaming mouse. I would recommend it, and it is quite decent. But if you do bring price into the equation, it gets a lot harder to recommend then, because there is so much more competition at that price point. So what I would tell you guys if you're looking into this is have a really good look around first at other gaming mice that are coming in at a similar or less price point, and see if maybe those will tick as many of your boxes as this guy does. Because honestly, I think there are other options out there for cheaper that are just as good as this gaming mouse. Now, I thank you all for watching this video. Let me know in the comment section down below, what gaming mouse are you running, and what DPI or CPI do you run it at? I'd really like to know. Now, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, Tech Showdown, I suggest you do, because I got much more great videos, many more, I should say. Great videos right around the corner. CPU showdowns, GPU showdowns, and lots more. So definitely do that and smash that like button, because it helps me out and shows me that you guys are enjoying the videos. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.